good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for being here. I came in and Em was already here, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I love doing these, but I don't know if they're useful. So, like, when people are here, I'm like, oh, good, hopefully it's working for somebody. Oh, and I hear my voice. So let me get rid of that because the last thing I want to hear is myself talk. Um, all right, we'll give the room a few minutes to kind of fill up, but usually when I do these builder classes, I love having something that's just like one and done. Like we start it and end it the same week because I think that like when you're just learning how to build, big projects can be pretty overwhelming and then, challenging. So just having small projects that you can, finish up, I think that's really good. Oh, I see Moonbeamer come in. I'm gonna stop and say hi. So good to see you here. So that last week we actually then moved on and did something different where I wanted to do a cool like one parcel scene, but it's taking a little bit longer because you can't, it'd be hard to do like a cool escape room in one like 1 hour session. So this one I'm splitting up. It'll probably be next week as well, just because it takes a little bit of time. So as always, if you're joining from YouTube, listening in there, if you're in world, I might not see your questions as we're going. So if you do have questions, I'll stop and at the end, give us some time to answer that. Ah, and I forgot I'm not in CBD yet. So let me jump into CBD. I'll also be live there. So, super, super mellow. Like I just want this to be like friends talking, not because I'm not like professional builder or anything like that. I'm just a person who loves building. And so I feel like there's Dr. Krilla does the office hours, which is really good. Lastrom does kind of some Angzar world building. So if you have technical skills that are beyond this, like if you do have background in coding or 3D modeling, those are probably really good places to get your skills challenged. So I'll just reiterate that this class is for us noobs to like feel comfortable making mistakes. Don't have to know everything. I don't know everything. Some of this I'm figuring out like week by week, because I think that that's also really important just to I don't know stand up here in front of you and be like, yeah, I don't know this stuff either. I'm figuring it out. So with that being said, let's jump over and look at what we did last week. As always, you're going to need to have the Creator Hub downloaded. And let's see. Let me. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. I'm gonna go backwards. So when you go into your scenes, if you start a new scene, it's right here. But if you're going into some of your old scenes, and you can see like how many I've done, um, like so many old scenes. And so what you're gonna look for is the one that we started last week, and that's the Holiday Escape Room. So click on that. It should load you in. And last week, since we are limited to an hour, I did go back in and kind of just tweak some of the assets because I'm me. I do believe I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and so I like everything to be symmetrical and line up, and so it really bugs me if it's not as I'm building it. So last week I kind of had to just move fast and be like, all right, it's okay to just place it and come back later. So now it looks a little bit different. I also wrapped it up in a present, but we'll go over that in just a second. I want to make where is it? There we go. Okay, want to make that disappear. It's a present. Oh, you guys saw the surprise. Oh no. Okay, so last week we talked about spawn points, and so changing where your avatar spawns into the scene so that when you're coming into a scene, you can like start your avatar way on top of the build. Just waiting, yeah, making sure the feed is good. So if I want to kind of like, it's been a week since we've looked at this, and I'm like, all right, what are we doing? Where are we starting at? I might go right into preview and just go through my scene, walk through it, look for, look for mistakes like, oh, a tile needs to be placed in a different spot, or like this wall doesn't work, I can walk right through it. So that's usually what I do. Like if I haven't been in my scene for a while, I'll go through and look at that. Let's see if it lets me. It's like taking a little longer than usual. Also this morning, there is a Cloudflare outage on the internet, and so far I think everything works fine, but we may run into some issues. All right. Eh, I don't know why it's taking longer than usual. I do see a little message down here. New dependencies version updated. I've said it before and I'll say it again that make sure you're always updating the Creator Hub. I know I had a problem once that I was like, not raging, but I was like, oh my gosh, I was so frustrated. It wasn't working. I was bugging support. And then finally they were like, well, try updating your Creator Hub. And that was it. So every time, now I'm traumatized and I'm like, learn my lesson. Every time I see an update, I do it. Okay, here we go. So because I set my spawn point to the top of the build, it should put me right at the top, not down, at the bottom. Like usually when you come into builds, the spawn point is in the lower left corner. And that's just kind of like standard, but it is kind of cool just to see it when people change the spawn point and look at different ways to enter the scene. Because I think that like, a good narrative, good storytelling, it starts with how are they entering your scene? How are they seeing it for the first time? Is it just, you walk up and you're in the corner and there's nothing spectacular? Or is it like, pow, like, are you going to wow them? All right, so there's my wow. So this one does have the wrapping paper on it. It's so funny that it's a present. It's a wrapping paper because it's so appropriate. So one thing about the camera angle, it is I'm trying to like get away from it. Because there's not a lot of height from the floor to the ceiling, you get this effect. I don't actually want you to see the outside of it. There's a present right here. It's a GLB asset, but it does not have a collider in it. And so that is something I have to put in order to avoid this effect. But I wanted to do that with you guys. Okay, so this is the graphic I made last week. I think that like having clear instructions is also a really good thing to do for your experience. I do not have the coding skills to do this. So guys, I made this on like Canva, and then I just inputted this as a image. So I have my like low-tech way of having a user interface. I got to shout out M and Dr. Drip. Their user interface for their hackathon experience was so good. And so I'm like, oh, I need to do better, but it is what it is. Okay, so here we go, you guys. Last week we started with a maze. So it's an escape room. We want to get out of here. We want to find the exit. And it was so funny because as I was working on this, and every time you have to like go through your scene to get to the next part, I was like, all right, where is the exit to the next one? I know where it is now, but this is also like one parcel scene, so you don't have a lot of room to work with. So it is kind of fun just to have that challenge. So here it is. Oops, see, I don't want that. Here it is. Let's see what happens, you guys, if we go down there. Okay. I'm in a hallway. So last week, we had like the floor from the ceiling. I didn't think it looked good, so I added that. I can see a little flicker over here. If you can see that, that is just where these two panels are overlapping. And you can see if I click on it, it does that flicker. Then if I just leave it, it stops. What I've learned is that is just the computer is trying to figure out which one of these do I render. It's just all I need to do is move that panel to the left. You can make some cool stuff. Like, oh my gosh, if this was not a fun Happy Christmas themed, but like let's say it was a Matrix glitch. Oh my gosh, if you had a whole room like this, everybody would hate it and it would be so uncomfortable to their eyes, they would want to get out. So I also see like over here, there's a seam that doesn't match up. usually when I'm like testing my scene and looking for this kind of stuff, I go and I fix it right away. I'm like back and forth because I won't remember all of these tiny little things. So when you're creating something, give yourself enough time to like go and test and go back and test because then sometimes you break, the things that you just fixed, um, you might break something else. Okay, so here we are. We're in a hallway. I can't get out. I can't get out. And we want like the escape room. We want our user to be like, what the heck? Because that's kind of the fun is how do I get out of here? So uh, I'm trying. I can't get out. But if anybody was here last week, they remember, oh, what is this? There's a snowflake up there. That's odd. What, however could that be? So I'm like trying to get out. My avatar feels the wall. Actually, you can see where my colliders don't match up. You can see like she stops right there. That's a clear giveaway that something is there. All right, so eventually your user's gonna start panicking, and there's probably gonna be a bunch of people in here at the same time. And if they start jumping around, maybe they will figure out, oh, that I can jump through the wall. Because last week we made a collider there that you can get through all of like this area by the snowflake. You can't get through any of the other spots. All right, so this is as far as we got last week. Actually, I didn't even have the floor, but I added it this week. And we didn't have the present, so we'll go back over that. But what I wanted to do is get you to another room, and I really liked that like wow factor when you come through the wall. I'm gonna reload and just go through the whole thing again. So if I just type slash reload, it should reload the scene. Okay, maybe up here. There we go. Oh, it's not working. Okay, well, we'll continue on. So that room, oh, gotta type the right thing, otherwise Sin's gonna see me. Um, oh, you know what? I wasn't sharing any of that, was I? Oh my gosh. Oh, fail, epic fail. Kanasa. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if I can show it to you. Right here. Okay. Strike. Strike one for Canessa. Sorry, actually strike two because I did that at the hackathon. I should have known better. So let me just go through the whole thing really fast. Um, in the Creator Hub. So what I was doing is go through the maze. Down here is where your avatar will get to the next spot. And then this is the wall where you will jump through the snowflake. All right, so at the end, oh, gotta figure out how to preview. Okay, so let's see. The first thing I want to do is rewrap the experience because I use that present just to like the wrapping paper just to show you like this is what it should look like at the end. And I use CSM, Common Sense Machine. It's an AI software. I use that to make this. However, I actually am not really super happy with it because right here it looks good. It looks cool. But when you look at it in world, it doesn't look the same. It's not. It's like darker. I'd almost rather just make something super quick on Blender, and that might be easier. All right, just waiting for the feed to catch up. So what I'm going to do is go into CSM and let's make our own asset. Common Sense Machine, CSM, it was really useful during the hackathon. And so I think a lot of people have subscriptions to it. If you're interested in looking at it, like you can hit me up in like voice chat sometime, or we can um, jump into voice chat or something, and I can show you how easy it is. So what I want to do is just type, I want to be specific, Christmas present. All right. Let's see. So it's really good at like understanding I think, what you want, although I should have made this brighter. And we're not going to spend too much time on CSM. There's another episode of Builder Basics that does have uh, CSM and how to use it. All right, so Christmas present. This is cute, but not quite what I wanted. So how about a tall Christmas present? Tall Christmas present. The idea with this is like literally this escape room, it's like a wrapper. Like it is funny that it's a Christmas present because for every season you could just put a new wrapper on this experience. It could be a Valentine's present, or it could be, an Easter basket or Easter egg. And you could just make some small modifications and just kind of reuse this scene that you create. Okay, so I like that. I want to make it an image to 3D, but I'm going to remove the background. Takes a second to analyze this. All right, remove the background. And how about brighten it? Because I don't want the fireplace, I don't want the tree, I just want this asset. Oh, and I probably will have to tell it to remove the foreground as well. Yeah, it didn't. Okay, so let's see. So what you can do is go back. I guess I probably didn't need to go back there. Go to continue, and I don't know, I usually make modifications in this tab. Maybe there's something different once you actually take it to 3D. So remove background and foreground, brighten the present. I think maybe the color, like between what you're seeing here and what the GLB is downloaded, is there. It's just a little bit different. Like maybe they're gonna make that match a little bit better. There we go. Look at that. That is okay. That's gonna be so much better, I think, once we bring that into Decentraland. So I'm going to image to 3D. This part takes a little bit of time, so I'm just going to come back to that. There we go. It says image should be populating. You can look over here at my assets, and then you can see that it is working on it. All right, so usually I do that and then jump back to something else just because it takes a little bit of time. All right, so let's remove this present, and I don't want to remove it because it actually is like I had to align everything, get it just really perfect there so that the insides are hidden. So before I just like trash it, I'm just going to hit this little eye. I'm going to click over here. I'm just going to make it go away. Because that way when I put the new one in, I can look, and maybe I do like that one. Maybe I want that one a little bit more. Okay, so as far as our escape room got, we jump out of this door, and you can see how my colliders are not matching up. And that's why, I'm sorry you guys couldn't see it, but I could see like something wasn't right. The avatar stopped. It was clear that like there's something going on there. And I think that as you're building, especially escape rooms, like that's the stuff I would look for. So I'm just going to make sure that all of these line up. If you were in Blender, like if I was in Blender, I would make this totally different, but I want us to be able to make stuff without having to go to Blender right now. Okay, so this room. Now we have to figure out how are we escaping from this room. And actually, I will make the present come back so we can kind of see. This is what it's going to look like. It's hard to see. This is what it's going to look like for our avatar, essentially. Like we came out from up there. There we go. And then how do we get out of it? Like what is the challenge going to be? And I'm thinking that this one has to be a little bit more like intentional. The first two, the maze section, you run through a maze. The second hallway is just, you've got to kind of figure it out on your own. I like that there's no prompts to tell you what to do next for the discoverability. But down here, I want you to actually have to do an action to get out. So what I want to do is have a smart item from the Creator Hub, and that is the door and a lever. So that's a little bit like the next step of complexity. It's not too complex. But I'm thinking that like I don't want you just to have like run down and find the door and escape. I want you to actually have to like do an action that opens the door. And so in my head, as I'm imagining this, I'm imagining since it's Christmas themed, Santa's workshop, and you got a bunch of stuff here, and you've got to look through everything in order to find that lever. So I want to hide it. But I think before I do that, let's like got to figure out the logistics. If I have a door, what is the door opening to? Is it, like this is a flat area, so I can't just, it's got to open somewhere, which means either I have to make a hallway here or I have to go like down here. I really love spiral staircases, so I'm thinking like maybe there's a spiral staircase and it takes you away from the scene. So you get to the door, but you can't get through it. So then you realize, oh, I got to run back to the scene. There was something I should have done. So I'm going to find the stairs. And okay, there's some really cool spiral stairs. Sometimes it's hard to see them, so you got to come back. All right, so I'm going to figure out how can I put these in here so that it works. This floor is the size of the, like that's the parameter that I have to work with. Okay, so that much I know. So in order to like get below it, I'm going to have to cut a hole in the floor and AKA change it a little bit. So let's see. If I have stairs, I just want that top to fit right through there. Okay. So now that tells me that we're pretty much done with the like that is it. It's going to take you to this last room. So it's not a super huge escape room. I could make this smaller and make like another level, but I think this will be good. All right, so let's see. I think I want to rotate it. I'm trying to, so sometimes I have to stop and think like, what's the best way to build? Should I, because I know that this floor is what I want to work with. Should I duplicate it and then I can keep this as my framework, my guide, and then I can just move this. It'll have that flicker overlap, but that's okay. And then I can just shorten this side up to make sure it matches. Okay, and then this, I might duplicate it again. I know this might not make sense, but hopefully it will in just a second. It's just so much easier to do it like that than like try to eyeball it. If you've got something that already works, like go for it. Okay, so that's my original, and then I'm going to delete that. So now you can see I have a little corner here. I know that the floor fits because I just kept that shape. I almost want like a hall, but like a hallway that you walk down. But nope, nope, nope. So my brain is like, come on, you should do all these things. And then I have to remember, like, no, we we don't have to do all the things, brain. All right, but we have to figure out how do you get down a staircase. So I might need a little bit more space because I want, like right here is where the entrance is going to be, and then you've got this funky overlap. So also here's something to like be aware of. I'm gonna Control Z that. When you're resizing assets, see how I'm like, I want it to be shorter right here, but when I resize it, it's pulling from the other end. And so that's kind of a pain. So I kind of have to like eyeball, like short. Oh, I actually shortened it way too much. And then I have to drag it this. In Blender, it's not like that. Well, depends on where your point of origin is. All right. So I Oh, I hate that flicker. See, that's what I mean. Like, if you want a freaky escape room, just use that effect. Now, you guys, you learned how to make something super easy, low tech, but like absolutely annoying to anybody that's in your escape room. All right. So right here, that is where my avatar is going to get down. And just to check if there's enough space, I'm going to make the present visible again. And then I'm going to look right here. And I think if my avatar was walking down that, I think they would hit their head right here. So I don't think that's going to work. So I think I need to make this shorter right here. So I'm going to hide my present. Um, okay, I'm not going to do that. No, I am. I am. See, since like again, same thing is happening. I want it shorter here, but when I go to resize, it's like making it shorter over there. And I don't want to just eyeball it, so I'm actually just gonna duplicate this scene or that, sorry, not scene, that asset. Gonna resize it. Oh, that's a pain in the butt because then I'm gonna have to resize that other one too. Okay. All right, so let's try that shape and then I'm gonna delete the original. And then this guy's gotta get moved. So when you're building, there are little tedious things like this that are like, okay. Now, let's see if that fits. I'll make my present show up. All right, probably better, probably, but I don't know. So there's other ways I could do it, like to like, I don't know, just to get away from this. Like I could put like an object there, like a Christmas tree, right? That would like visually block this, and then you wouldn't see it. Actually, that'd be kind of cool, is to make the staircase hidden, so that like an extra challenge. um for the sake of like not having to redo this a bunch of times, I'm gonna just definitely give us enough leeway. Oh, and I'm gonna do that because the worst thing is when you do something and then it doesn't work and you have to go redo it. And then you just think about the time you wasted. I made an emote. Oh, this happens very often when I'm making emotes. And then I'm like, oh, if I would have just thought about this, it would have saved hours and hours. And then you have to redo it. So sometimes it's better just to be like err on the side of like, I'm gonna make it work. Okay, so I bet that's good. Um, I could test it. Like if I wasn't doing the class, I'd probably test it like um with the preview and just go through that. But I'm guessing it works. And so this gets us like, let's get rid of that present. This gets the avatar to the floor, right? It gets us down here. And with the present, like if I use the same size present, you're actually, there's a lot of the scene that you're not using down here. So a few solutions would be, I could put like a Christmas ornament right here or something, or another little present just to buy myself a little bit of room. But I'll make it work. It'll be fine. I think what I have to decide, and it's hard to do this without the present. See, I don't know where the wall is. So probably just to help my brain not um, like lose my mind, I'm gonna put in another wall down there that just kind of tells me what I have to work with. Uh, let's go to the gallery. There was a cool wall that I found that reminds me of an ice cream cone. Where is it? Is it this? That's the fun thing about like going into all these. Let's see, wall. Where is it? horizontal board. I don't know. I'll just use diagonal board. I think that might be it. All right. So what I want to do is I've got to rotate this. See how it's going. Well, actually, put all on one side. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. I think that looks like an ice cream cone wafer. So if you were going to make like a sweets themed, this would be perfect. So I'm going to make that a little bit longer. And then I'm going to hide it behind the present because I'm assuming that this is like the workspace that we got to deal with. And then I'm going to duplicate it. So left click, right click, duplicate. I guess you don't have to do the left click, but just to select it if you didn't already have it selected. That. I'm going to get this hidden in here. And then once I have this, I can just hide that present. And then I don't have to keep doing that because even if it's just really hard to see what the workspace is. And I think I've said like multiple times, like just different tricks that I have to see the workplace. Because I think that that's a big part of this is like how to navigate the whole, your workspace. Okay, so these are temporary walls, but it just tells me like, all right, when you come down the stairs, this is where you're at. And it would be cool if I added like, I don't know, some ice cream sprinkles to that later. Oh, but look, our staircase doesn't go all the way to the bottom. I thought it did, so I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger. And of course, it's gonna take from the top. So then I have to go and rearrange that. But I do like this because it's taking your avatar far away from that room. And so you're like, oh, that was just decorative. That's fine. I'm not going to use that for anything. And then we're going to make it so that you do have to go back up there. Move that out of the way. All right. So whenever possible, duplicate your stuff because it just saves so much time. Okay. And I don't even have to have like the size logistics figured out right now. I can go back, like you can tweak all of that. What you just need is to know what kind of like area you're working with. So, okay. Now I want to like look in there and I don't want this to obstruct me. So I'm going to hide it. It's weird. Okay. So now when they go down the steps, they're going to be in this room and they're going to be stuck. They can't get out. I want to use this door. So they actually have to like figure out how to get out. But right now, if I do use this door, since this is a wall behind it, and it's a wall that is included in the Creator Hub, so it has a built-in collider, if I use this right now, the door would just, you'd open the door and you'd see a wall. So it's not going to work. I have to do one extra step. And so down in the asset packs, you can look up, I don't know what they call it, door frame. Okay. So here we go. Like this stripy pattern, I see it right here. So it's easy, easy peasy. I don't have to put much thought into it. Like it's already done, which is nice. Okay. And do I want the door to go to this main area or do I want it to be over here? This is such a small space. I'm like, all right, would I utilize it? When you're coming down the stairs, they're gonna walk down and they're gonna come out here and they're gonna have to walk around. So actually like right here is pretty intuitive. That's a pretty good spot because then once they get past that door, that gives me this much space to work with. And at the end, when they leave, I'll look at my present for a second. I want them to come out. Oh, you know what? Actually, I should have them come out right here. We're going to use that other bow and like present from CSM that is being processed right now, but you do have to know like where they're going to leave your scene. So if they are walking out here, then the flow of traffic should be like they come in here and then this will be the last challenge that they have to do and then come out right here. So I think that it's pretty logical, like pretty good idea to put the door right here. Um, if they're coming down the stairs, they can just jump to the door. So maybe I want to also make like uh, a way that they can't just get to the door without like walking back up the steps, like another little room. Not to make it hard, but just like uh yeah, I don't know. Make it a little bit more guided. Like there was a good there was a good show a long time ago called Bar Rescue, and the guy always looked at like foot traffic and like where are people going. He had these things called butt funnels where he would force people to like squeeze in through this tiny area to get to the dance floor and like increase their chances of making physical contact with other humans. And so I think about that sometimes like, all right, where are the funnels? Like, where are people going to go? And I swear people will never do, they'll never do in Decentraland what you think they're going to do. Like, so many times you'll have your build like perfectly done. And you're like, yeah, the party's going to be over here at the DJ booth. Like for CBD one year, we had such a cool booth. And then nope, they were all on the other side of the build. So I was like, dang it, like nobody did what I thought they'd do. So human behavior is really fun to like play around with in Decentraland because people just they surprise you. Never that's not even going into like Discord behavior. That's just talking about where they go in the scenes. Okay, so I'm making this tiny. There's no need for that extra space. This isn't a maze. They just have to find the door. There we go. All right. Did I increase this wall? I must have. Nope. Okay. Because I'm like, wait, it feels bigger, but it's not. It's not. So I want these to match up. I guess I have to make my door bigger or that smaller. But that kind of stuff, see, this is where I'm like, I do not have to figure it out in the middle of the class. But then I'm like, my brain is like, no, you better get that down to like 1/16 of an inch. Okay, see how I have both of them selected? This is weird. Sometimes it does this where I'm like resizing it and it is resizing them, but it's being all funky. I think maybe because they have two very different points of origin. Yeah, so I'm just going to, oh my God, I like can't leave this. I can't like just let it not match up. You guys are getting like a glimpse of my brain. But I look. All right, there it is. The door. So now, sorry, sometimes I have to do this weird, funky thing to get the camera angle to go where I want it to be. Okay, so now when they go down the stairs, they're going to get into this little area and they're going to get to this door and it's not going to do anything. So they're going to have to figure out like, all right, how do I get out the door? What is that? And what I want to do is put in what I have over here, the lever that is it's like the permission slip to go out the door. So you have to move the lever, you have to hit that active in order to activate the door. And so I want to go back up, find my floor, find this. The present is still here just to kind of give a gauge of the walls. And I'm going to move the lever up here. But there's not much to hide it right now. And so, like, I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, you know what? Well, E.T., not that I've watched it much, but, you know, when E.T. has to hide in all the stuffed animals in that part of the scene, I feel like this should be hidden with a bunch of stuff around it. So you don't see it first when you go through. You're like, no, I'm just going to go down that staircase. It's easy peasy. And probably hide the staircase a little bit so that even that is hidden. So I'm going to think about how I get into this scene. I have to jump through this door and I'm going to land there. So there's a chance. Didn't really think this one through. Vanessa. There's a chance I could jump through the door and like land really close to the staircase. So I might need to like test that and make sure that I can't. Or I could just take a wall and just like force them to not. Like you just literally can't get there. You have to go, you know, around here. So maybe that's another thing, like where this, oh, actually, that would be a good challenge because this is a simple escape room. Like, guys, we're not coding, we're not going crazy, so we have to find other ways to like go crazy. Like we have to find other ways for it to be a challenge. So maybe we do the same secret door up here, down here, where they're like, what the heck? But then they'd probably find the lever, actually, and then there's a chance that they could ruin the whole experience. So I'm just gonna like make that small. Leave it there for now. Okay, so lever, here we go. This is kind of the part where it goes from being super simple to just like a little bit more complex. Um, Dr. Krillo does the office hours, and he and some of the other builders are really good at like getting the smart items to do what you want. I'm still learning a lot of that, and so I'm keeping it real simple. But to find both the door and the lever, you're going to go into the smart items area of the Creator Hub, and then go down here, and then you'll see this little lightning bolt. Anytime you see that, that means that there's a smart item, like smart item capabilities attached to it. And so you can like a sci-fi lever, that'd be great for like a dystopian sci-fi theme. When you bring that lever in, it's gonna offer you a lot more potential or like options over here. So just to compare, uh, like this door frame, that's just a door frame. That, oop, I'm scrolling and nothing's happening. That door has like nada. Like there's nothing attached to it because that's just a door frame. The door, when I look at what's attached to that, ooh, lots of options. When clicked, when open, when closed. Okay, so that's what a smart, like that's just kind of the difference that you can see right away. There's just a lot more things that these smart items can do for you. So I'm gonna delete that because I don't want to get confused with the sci-fi lever. I chose the pirate lever because I don't know. I think that one looks the coolest. And then I chose the wooden door. There's a wooden door, old wooden door. I think for our theme, these two match up really well. So when you're doing this, you have to tell the lever, what it's going to do. I have the settings over here just to make sure that it works. And I'm still learning this myself, so like I'm trying to figure out a good way to explain it. But basically, like you have to tell it like what to do and what to do it with. It's like if your kids are gonna go to the movie, or if you're gonna go to the movie with your date. Okay, well, first you have to choose who's your date or who your kids' play date. Who are you bringing? Are you bringing the door? Are you bringing the old door? Are you bringing the sci-fi door? What are you gonna do? You're gonna go to the movies. Okay, and that's the action. That's like the here's the animation, here's the sound. You have to put these choices in. And then when you're at the movies, you have to decide what movie are you going to see. So that's, again, like that, the asset. And then what are you going to do? Well, probably going to watch the movie. But so these simple actions that you do right here, I think like in my brain, when I'm thinking about these, that's kind of how I break it down. Like it gets a lot, I guess, because it gets complicated and I don't want to over engineer this stuff. So up here, in the upper right hand corner is the plus, and then this is where you can bring in a bunch of different options. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna leave it as is. That when activated, like when clicked, I guess is another good way to say it. When clicked, the pirate lever is going to play activate animation. Sorry, sometimes my Wisconsin animation to the wooden door because I could add a bunch of different doors, right? I could add, maybe I want different doors on my scene. And then what do I want it to do? I want it to open or close. So there's different ways that you could make this in your scene. Maybe you want it to close the doors. Maybe there's like, I mean, you could have a scene maybe with 10 different doors where you're like opening and closing them and it's just driving you mad because you can't get through them unless you do it in the right order. All of these other things for now, GLTF, action, trigger, states, animator, pointer, events, multiplayer, we don't need to do those yet. I think for now, let's just keep it like extremely simple. And I did test this to make sure it worked, which is why I left it there like that. So I think it'd be cool also, like, you can resize these. So maybe it's also just like, it's there, but it's just hard to see. All right, there we go. Let's fill up our room. And for that, oh, I closed down CSM somehow. For that, we're going to need to go back to CSM. If it's Santa's, like Santa's workshop, you could just fill it with stuff from the Creator Hub. Like actually Santa's probably bringing somebody a bike for Christmas, right? So in Genesis City, you could start throwing in like a bike or maybe, oh, where did it go? Maybe somebody's like Jim Cedric is there. He's getting a grill for Christmas or a boombox. I love that they still call it that. Um, what other things look like toys? All right. So not a lot. Like there's no Christmas package included with the Creator Hub. But this is a good place to start. And it actually gives us like a reference. Maybe not the grill. Sorry, Jim. No grill for Jim Cedric. So I'm just gonna click those, bring them up. Remember, if you hit shift while you click them, you can select multiple items and put it over here. So actually, like what my brain would do is start looking for textures that repeat and that maybe kind of look like something else. So this bike, oh my gosh, could we just be like evil and make this look like it's the bike seat? So it's not hidden behind something. It's hidden in plain sight. Like one thing that I learned a long time ago as an artist, you're never going to get recognition. So when I graduated high school, I drew the cover of my school's yearbook and it was like 2,000 people in my school. And I by then I was like savvy, I knew I wasn't going to get recognition. So I was like, instead of hiding my name small, like tiny, I hid it in plain sight, like on the entire um, yearbook. And so then when I started showing people, they were like, what the heck? But it was true. I didn't get the credit. They literally put some chick's name on the first page. I was like, yep. So here we go, you guys. Okay, that's low key genius. Canessa has moments. Um, I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but that's pretty cool. Um, so I guess now they'd have to come up and they'd have to click right here in order to open it. Oh, I have to just enjoy these little moments because I did not plan that. It's kind of looks funny, but that's okay. We could set something small on top of it. All right. So let's jump over. Ah, I don't know if I don't know if CSM is being affected by the Cloudflare outage, but I'm gonna open it, try to open it again. Oh, I think it is. Let's see. Well, it says MetaMask crashed too, so maybe everything is crashing today, and that's just how it goes. Out of memory. Right, let's see. It's trying. It's trying to load in. There's enough, like, I mean, I think I can fill that room with enough. Oh, it's like, it's not loading. So I'm thinking that this is part of like the Cloudflare outage. Maybe, maybe not. But we don't need that necessarily. I think um, the idea is just that we would fill this with items that we have, from the Creator Hub. I also have like a few Christmas assets that I have made, like a pair of Santa boots. So if I have those, and I do want to take us to Blender soon, very soon. So maybe I will just show you again, like importing an asset if it's not something from the Creator Hub and it's something that you made yourself, or if you're taking it from CSM or Sketchfab, just down here, import assets. And then what did I call that one? I called that Santa's. My problem is that uh, I don't name them right. Okay, I think I didn't import it well. And that's why like CSM is so nice, because Blender, you have to export it. So that's fine. Let's see how this looks. I think this is good for now. I'm gonna go into preview. One moment. I'm gonna try to. Oh no, did I lose everything? No. I'm gonna try to make sure that I don't lose this right now. I think I can do that. All right, here we go. Oh, Decentraland's not responding. It's so it's so scary with all the outages of the internet and everything lately. It's like, wow. Uh, Not sure how centralized we are or not. I'm gonna give it like another second. Okay, close the program. Oh, I think I crashed. Let me get back. Let me get back to Decentraland. All right, I will be right back. It's always fun when everything crashes, but it's the way it goes. I was in another class this morning, the Shi-Fi class, and there were some technical issues with that too. So we shall see if this works. All right, it looks like it's working. I need like elevator music when it's not working. Okay, there is. Oh, that's weird. Now it's showing me that I'm streaming Decentraland, but it's the Creator Hub window. Oh, weird. Huh. Okay, well, I see myself, so that's good at least. Maybe that's messed up. I'm gonna give it just a second so that my stream can catch up, and then we'll go through the scene, and then we'll wrap it up from there. And then I'm hoping that the lever works. The bike seat lever, the most most ingenious thing I've come up with this year. It's been a it's been a rough year. No I'm kidding. All right. I'm gonna whistle so you don't hear my dog rolling around on the floor because he's having fun. For some reason, it is not. There we go. Creator Hub window. There we go. For some reason, it was not wanting to show me what was happening in the Creator Hub. And I'm still learning all this streaming stuff. Like, I know I'm not good at it, but like, I'm so proud of just like figuring it out. Even though it's like little things like this, I know other people sin, make an NFT. Like, you guys do this all the time. And so it's just, I don't know. It's it's fun. It's been fun doing this just because like I get to put myself out there a little bit, like on the hot pot or the pressure. I don't know if it's pressure, but it's just like it's fun. It's good. It's like a good challenge. All right, as soon as this loads up, I'm gonna jump there. It's just taking a long time. And I guess like if people have questions, I'll check the chat in just a second after we run through this. Or if people have suggestions or like things that they want to learn how to do, um, let me know. I want to run through this. I want it to work. It's loading. Sorry, guys. Just to explain, like it's loading. It's trying, but I don't know if it's gonna make it. All right, it might not make it. So I'm just gonna jump over to DCL chat. Oh, M says you all make it look so easy. Oh, M, I'm so scared to just I mean the first few days I was like so scared to stream because Sinful cannot help me and like I oh this is horrible. I'm gonna get out of the bushes. I look like a weird stalker over there. Um yeah, like I have relied on Sin so much just to help me with everything and so I'm like that's awesome. I'm so lucky to have him help me. But at the same time, like I'm not learning these skills, and so it's nice to, like nice to actually learn a little bit how to do this, but then streaming to YouTube, streaming to well, I'm not even streaming it to X. It's a lot, but totally worth it. All right, so since it crashed and I had to come back, I'm just gonna wait for a little bit. If anybody has questions, um, leave them in here. It looks like the preview isn't. It's not gonna work. So we can't go back and preview our scene, but at least we can look at it like through the Creator Hub. Um, and if I'm making a big scene, this is probably like at this point when you leave your project, I always kind of like run through it one more time and just see like how does it look? How does it feel? Is anything super broke like that I need to fix right away? Because there's always something that's gonna come up that you gotta fix. All right, so just to look at our experience again, since we can't preview it, I think the flow of how you go through it, especially in this, especially because it's like so tiny, it's one parcel of land. But I really want to see like what can we do with one parcel? I mean, we've got DCL worlds, everybody can deploy their like names are like $5 on OpenSea. So anybody for $5, with a little bit of ETH gas, you can build on a DCL world, which gets you insane amount of parcels to build on. But I still believe in the power of like the single parcel. So I think I'm going to continue to try to see what we can do. All right, so the people will go through the maze. They will jump down here. They will be in this hall. They're lost. They don't know where to go. They see the snowflake. This is the part I think that we didn't really get a good idea of before. When you go through this wall, it's going to, let me actually make sure I can see the present because I think that helps. Oh my. Hold on, I want to get that view again. It's so much easier with an avatar. All right, so when I go through there, I'm in this big room, probably more like down here, and I'm going to put a Christmas tree in the corner, and I'm going to look, and there's presents everywhere. That's cool. I'm going to enjoy it, and then I'll be like, what's back here? And then I'm going to see stairs, and of course, I'm going to think it's a good idea to go down them, and then I'm going to get to a door. I'm going to be like, boom, boom. Oh no, it doesn't open. Oh, did I miss something? And then I'm going to have to run back upstairs and be like, okay, I missed something. What did I miss? And I think it's just going to be like a matter of them coming, like looking around. They're going to interact with each of the items here. You know what we should do, actually? Let's fill it with like Decentraland stuff. So I could have like a Mew bubble, a kid called Beast. I could take like M's like horns. I could have the grill for Jim Cedric. Like that's what I should do is fill it with Decentraland people stuff so that then like as you're looking for your lever, you're also like having fun and celebrating all of your amazing friends. And then hopefully they eventually figure out like it's right in front of them. The way that they'll give it away is that you'll be able to hover over this and then click it. So if they're savvy and they've been to Decentraland and they know what they're doing, they'll just stand here and they'll like take their cursor and be like, oh, boop, okay, that activated. But we'll do what we can. I guess you could put like colliders over certain stuff, so then they actually have to come up and come over here. I wonder. Okay, I just had a thought. I wonder if an invisible collider in front of this would prevent your cursor from clicking it unless you're in the right position. So I might actually, that might totally not be that might not be a thing at all. But to test that theory, I'm just gonna go duplicate that invisible wall. For those who weren't here last week, invisible walls are called colliders. So I'm gonna make it like that. Now the only way if that works, I won't be able to get to the bike, and the only way to click on it will be like if I'm close to it. So we'll see. I'm gonna publish this. It's actually already published, but an older version on this parcel just north of Cantina. It's like Metaryuk's giant tower. If you're at the Cantina and you look to the right, it's over there. I should make a little path that goes right to it. And sometimes I get this pop-up that the scene has been successfully published, but it hasn't. That's like an old version of it. I don't know. That happened to me a lot recently. It was super annoying. Oh, right. Well, I think we're at the hour mark, and I wish it wouldn't have messed up. But you know what? That's the way it is. So if anybody is watching and they're interested, please like let me know if you have questions, if you want land to build on, if you're like, yeah, this is cool. I don't know if I could actually, you know, quite do this, but I'd like to try. Like, let me know because we have land between myself, Sinful, a lot of different people. MetaWolf has been awesome. MetaWolf delegated 10 parcels out to um, the ladies from Shifi, and so like that should not be a barrier. Like, and even if you just, you throw like a couple walls up, it doesn't have to be something like this. But it's like a place to start. So if you're interested in getting land delegated, that's free. The only thing we just, build something cool on it, and that's about it. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. It looks like I don't have any questions here in chat. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. We will finish this one next week, and then we'll kind of, go on to something cool after that. Maybe we'll make an emote together. I know it's not like building in the builder, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do that, or maybe I'll just make that one a separate one. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Have a great week and have fun building in Decentraland. Bye. Bye.